Good afternoon and welcome to Millbrae, the home of Ayr Rugby Club. This is the 2016 BT Premiership Final between Ayr and the visitors Heriots. Joining me, Chris Patterson, Scottish Rugby Ambassador. Both teams are in really good form at the moment. Ayr had a cracking win over Melrose in the semi-final, and Heriots obviously winning at BT Murrayfield last week and lifting the cup. It's a dry track, Chris. What do you think?
Looking forward to another cracking game. Ayr finished the regular season on top by a long way actually. Heriot finished third but had a wonderful semi-final victory against Curry, last kick of the ball, and Ayr won by 48 points to 10 against Melrose in the semi-final here. But since then, as you say, Heriot won the BT Cup last weekend. The momentum in sports, teams can do funny things, and they'll come here full of confidence. I'm expecting a good game, an open game. It's pretty dry and sunny obviously, but there's a strong wind blowing into my face as we stand, which will have an impact in the game. But we're looking forward to loads of tries, loads of scores, and another close encounter between these two sides who like to play a lot of rugby.
And a lot of good players on show here, so give us the men to watch for this game.
So many, but for the home team, I think Frazier Climo at standoff, he's an experienced player, has super rugby experience as well as professional experience in the UK with the Scarlets, so he'll have a big influence in the game. Ross Carroll always plays well. He's such a key element of this side here. And another one for the team to look at is Will Bordill, the number 7. He's tough as teak, he's hard. Jack Turley always leads from the front, and I think John Semple was man of the match last week in the BT Cup final, so he'll have a say in proceedings this afternoon, kicking at goal as well. So lots of good players, a cracking day, hopefully a cracking match.
Thanks, Chris. Our match commentator today is Bill Johnson. The cheerleaders are now on the pitch, resplendent with his rara skirt and pom-poms. Is Bill in the stand here at Millbrae, and he'll give you today's team lineups.
And Jim, there are glorious conditions for the two teams to enjoy at Millbrae this afternoon. Here are the starting lineups for today's Premiership Final. You can enjoy the young ladies giving the visual dancing on the field there whilst I go through the teams. Ayr, the hosts, have a very familiar look about them. Grant Anderson is at full-back. He's a pacey and powerful three-quarter line beside him. And Junior Bulumakau, Ross Carroll, Danny McCluskey and Craig Gossman. Very experienced half-backs in Frazier Climo and David Armstrong. George Hunter is at number 1. He's a Glasgow pro. He's at Loosehead today, along with James Malcolm, another Glasgow professional who's hooking. And Javan Sebastian, who's played under 18s rugby for Wales, he is at tight head prop. The second row of a couple of giants, Rob McAlpine and Scott Sutherland, and a very powerful and effective back row sees Blair Macpherson at 6, Will Bordill at 7, and Peter McCallum at number 8. Now, Heriots have only 2 changes from the lineup which brought the BT Cup back to Golden Acre last Saturday. Both of them are in the forwards. Let's start at fullback though, where John Semple once again wears the number 15 shirt. Charlie Simpson, Liam Steele, Cameron Ferguson and John Rae are the three-quarter line. Gregor McNeish and Tom Wilson are an unchanged half-back partnership. Here's one of the changes in the Heriots lineup. Martin Bouab comes in at loosehead prop. He's alongside Michael Linus and Struan Cessford in the front row. Then the two big men, Russell Nimmo and Jack Turley, today's captain. The Giants are in the second row. Struan Dewar is at 6, used to play for Scotland Sevens of course. Another change for Heriots, Alex Henderson comes in at open side wing forward. I think he's got the remit of giving Frazier Climo a bit of an unhappy afternoon. And then the most effective number 8, one of the most effective number 8s in the Scottish club scene, Jason Hill, plays in the number 8 shirt for Heriots. So that's the lineups of the two teams today. Chris has joined me back up in the commentary box. It's taken him a wee bit longer because the Rara girls out in the field have distracted his attention just slightly. Anyway, Chris, I've just been going through the teams. It's a great day here at Ayr for this BT Premiership Final, and the conditions, top of the ground rugby. We should see some good stuff.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we're saying to Jim downstairs. It's the long range forecast wasn't great. I think it was wet and cold, but it's turned out to be an absolute cracker. It is a strong wind, you can see in the flags there, and there's the wind's blowing straight down the field, so it will benefit one team in one half and one in the other. Sometimes easier to play into the wind. You know that the ball's going to come back to you, so you keep it in hand. Everyone's focused on that. And we'll see how it turns out, but with that wind, the strength behind you, if you're playing with it, you'll pick the corners. And Heriots last week were so dominant up front, scored 2 tries from line out drives, so we may see more of that this afternoon.
And Chris, you can see the strength of that breeze just from the way that the flags are blowing, which these young Ayr supporters are holding, making a sort of guard of honour as both the teams come on for this BT Premiership final. The actual Premiership season proper finished with Ayr up at the top on 68 points, and Heriots were in third place on 56. But of course the system now is that they have a playoff which sees number 1 team play number 4 and number 2 play number 3, and they had the playoffs 3 weeks ago. Now we're into the final, and the Heriots team, you can see them there, led out onto the field by their captain, big Jack Turley.
Yeah, Heriots overcame. They had to go away from home and play Curry in their semi-final, and it was a last-minute drop goal, the last kick of the game by Gregor McNeish. And Ayr, well, they won 48 points to 10 here against Melrose, and they led onto the field.
And it's a big day for Ross Currell, who's leading this Ayr team out onto the lovely Millbrae pitch. And Ross Currell scored a dramatic, 70, almost 80-yard try against Melrose here 3 weeks ago in what was the Premiership semi-final. And he'll be looking to emulate that today. So there are the two teams, Ayr to the left in their cerise and, black, and Heriots in their familiar navy blue and white horizontal hoops to the right. The big figure there, number 4, Rob McAlpine. Just look at him, 6'7", 18 stones 5. And there are the big giants with the blue scrum cap on there for Heriots. Russell Nimmo, who played such an important part in their win against Melrose last weekend in the BT Cup final at Murrayfield. And the referee today, Graham Wells, in the centre in his yellow shirt.
It'll be interesting to know whether Ayr won or lost the toss, but they have the win behind them. That's the advantage they have, so it'll be interesting to see if they opted for that or if Heriots opted to play into the wind.
And all they needed was the match ball, and that's on the field, and we can get things underway.
Blew away, I think.
So Ayr start off with this breeze, pretty steady breeze, it has to be said, in their favour. Ross Currell wears 22 because I think one of the prop forwards needed a bigger jersey or something like that. But anyway, there's the game underway with Ross Currell getting it started. Immediately the ball taken there by big Jack Turley for Heriots. Tom Wilson over the top. Into the wind, it'll tend to come back. Well caught there on that far side by Ayr. Grant Anderson. And here's the pick up and drive now with this formidable Ayr back row. I think, Chris, this is going to be one of the great battles of the club season. Ayer's back row against Heriots. Junior Bulumakau, fleeced by Liam Steele and brought down. Takes a bit of stopping. There's the wee lad Armstrong. What a name for a Scottish scrum half, eh? Armstrong. Where else have we heard that name, I ask? And then the hit up by Scott Sutherland for Ayr. Lovely conditions, sun in the back. That was James Malcolm. And there's the first penalty of the game, and that's going Heriot's way. Let's see what Graham Wells indicates here. I think somebody maybe diving in over the top.
Yeah, losing their feet, going over and going to ground. You've got to stay on your feet. You can't even put your hands on the ground past the ball. But interesting, we've spoken about the wind a couple of occasions already in the opening minute or so. Ayr playing with it, and they opted to run with the ball in hand. Frazier Climo delivering a lovely long pass out to Junior Bulumakau, who was well tackled by Liam Steele. So Heriot's defence, so impressive last week in the BT Cup final at BT Murrayfield, has been impressive so far today.
And there's an interesting figure holding up the touch flag on the far side, Mikey Adamson, who's going to be way off to Rio for the Olympics, for the inaugural 7-a-side competition there. There he is in the yellow jersey, just in the background. And here's the line out. The throw in by Michael Linus, the take by Heriots. Now Heriots were very effective in this aspect of play in the cup final, and they've got a penalty already. Wilson pops it out to McNeish. Oh, Charlie Simpson just kind of guddled that, but he's managed to get it out to John Rae on this side. Back they go for the penalty.
Yeah, it's an infringement in the line out. The first penalty, the first kickable penalty of the afternoon, going the way the Heriots. Is a lovely take at the tail of the line out by Struan Dewar. It shows you the confidence that Heriots have got, and Michael Linus to throw in the strong wind to the tail of the line out. And thereafter, I think there was already playing advantage. Heriots looked to put some width in the ball, but their defence were up off the line quickly and shutting it all down.
They're going to pop this down into the corner. John Semple, 11 points against Melrose in the cup final, and he's scored 7 points against Curry in the Premiership semi-final.
I'm just wondering if you'd chosen to kick that a goal there, Bill. I'm not sure, but they did score 2 tries from the driving lineups last weekend, and we'll see how this transpires.
Lovely take by Jason Hill. Great stuff there. Two-handed catch. Heriot's trying to show their superior strength and togetherness in this opening stage. Look at this from the Edinburgh side. Oh, that's a brilliant piece of play there by Edinburgh. And it's Struan Dewar, the number 6, who gets up with the ball. There he is, the big lad with the sweatband round his head. So that's first blood, so to speak, to Heriot's. It's Ayr 0, Heriot's 5 now, and look at that, they've played only 3.5 minutes in the first half here at Millbrae.
Well, it's reward for having the courage and the decision to kick to the corner, the turn down opportunity to kick a goal, and it was rather simple, wasn't it? It was a good throw up the line, it well taken by Jason Hill, and then the concerted drive. Ayr have been so strong in the forward pack for so many seasons, but Heriot again with another driving line. It's very difficult to do. You have to get your timing together, push together, drive together, keep the ball under control. Struan Dewar did that, and as you say, it's first blood to Heriot.
So there'll be a little bit of contentment, dare I say it, down at Golden Acre at the moment. And here is John Semple. And this kick, that's the 22 metres line, so he's kicking about 30 metres or so onto the posts off to the left. There's the kick. Oh, it's hit the upright. Would you believe it? It hit the upright and came back out, and so the score remains Ayr 0, Heriot's 5. Struan Dewar gets the first score on the scoreboard.
Virtually all the possession as well. Early on, I think Ayr had one attack, opted to keep it in hands. They were penalised for an infringement of the ruck, and then other than that, Heriot have got a hold of the ball, kept a hold of the ball into a strong wind, and they've got a deserved lead.
Lyness leads up there for Heriots. Tom Wilson, the scrum half, waits. Jason Hill at first receiver. There he is. Now he's got it. And there's the engagement by Blair Macpherson, number 6 for Ayr. Macpherson puts the big Heriots number 8 back just a metre or so. Firm tackling. Peter McCallum in the act for Ayr, right at the bottom of that melee there. And an indication perhaps there of just how strong this wind is that Heriots are facing in the first half, as Tom Wilson's kick over the top was caught by the wind and swept early into touch.
Yeah, you don't want to kick it around, but some really good defensive play by Ayr forced that kick. The initial tackle was good, they filled the field, they were on their feet, so Jason Hill tried to make some yards, but he was well tackled by Blair Macpherson, and then, well, all the pressure was on Heriot. He tried to clear it to touch. A poor kick and an opportunity for Ayr to strike back.
James Malcolm throws. Ayr tap it back. Here's Climo. Bulumakau comes in off the right wing. Well taken down by Michael Lyness. Good play on there by McPherson. Armstrong again at scrum half. Climo. Oh, lovely piece of running there. That Ross Currell just swerving away from the opposition. There's the scoreline at the top of your screen. 6 minutes played and Ayr trailing by these 5 points. Now the hit up by this big Ayr back row. I think this is going to be one of the real contests of this game. How the back threes get on against each other. Oh, Currell can't take it. Picked up by Cameron Ferguson. Counter attack here for Heriot. Ferguson a second time. Gives it back to Climo. Play on, says the referee. Nobody offside. This is Gregor McNeish. Wilson hasn't found touch. What will Bulumakau do with this one? Watch this lad. He can scramble and scarp it. Out it goes again. Grant Anderson. Lovely running by Anderson. He had Gossman outside on the left if he needed him. Ayr coming more into this game now after that initial try by Heriot. Again, just... I think that was Ross Currell going up the far side. There we are. We've got a nice close-up picture of that we can actually see the players. George Hunter in the action. Climo again. Here again. Pick up McAlpine. Oh, great scramble for possession. John Semple in well there for Heriot. The full-back doing great work. Sebastian, Javan Sebastian. that's good work by Ayr. There's Sebastian again. He was very effective 3 weeks ago on this same pitch against Melrose. Absolutely took the Melrose scrum apart at times. Climo looking for runners. He's got Bulumakau outside him this time. Takes a lot of stopping. Liam Steele was in with the tackle there, Chris.
Yeah, you're doing so well, respecting possession, challenging the Heriot's defence with every phase.
Now the hit up. Hunter. Oh, and the ball just not going to hand, and a clearance kick by Russell Nimmo. Big second row forward having a big angry swipe at it there.
Well, Ayr really knocking on the door there, wasn't there? It was a mistake by Ross Carroll, but after making a mistake he reacted wonderfully well, got back, made the tackle and Struan Dewar. Ayr won the ball back, and then, well, they just probed and didn't it, close to the ruck. Javan Sebastian with 1 or 2 pick and goes. Blair Macpherson carrying hard. Heriot's defence was up to the task, but Ayr, well, they're, I suppose, copying what Heriot did in the first couple of minutes. They've decided not to take the pick at goal, pop it into the corner and try and score a try.
And if you've just joined us, welcome to this live stream by Scottish Rugby Television of today's BT Premiership Final between Ayr and Heriot. You can see the scoreline as it stands at the moment. Ayr 0, Heriot's 5, top of the screen. They've played 9 minutes and a few seconds of the first half in perfect conditions at Millbrae. Armstrong whips it out. Climo, lovely passing. Chance here for Danny McCluskey. This is Armstrong. Is he in at the corner? The crowd's up on their feet. The try is given. Grant Anderson gets the score. It's 5-all.
Well, Ayr get the widest score of the day so far. They opted not to kick a goal. They went to the corner. It wasn't the line of drive. They eventually peeled off the back of the drive, and they moved the ball wonderfully well across the field. Danny McCluskey showed some great footwork in the midfield, and then a fantastic offload for Junior Bulumakau. Good Grant Anderson on the ball, and he squeezed in at the corner, and they've hit back right away. Great score by Ayr, finished off by Grant Anderson.
Now then, the conversion is going to be right out on the touchline, and we may get a look at the kicker, although the spectators are always very close to the field at this ground. So you often get a view of hairstyles and ears and whatnot.
There's some good skills under pressure there, wasn't there, Bill? Never mind the hairstyle. That try, it was the ball was moved from left to right, long passes under pressure. McCluskey challenged the defence. Heriot's defended it pretty well, but couldn't defend the offload from Junior Bulumakau, and then Grant Anderson powered over in the corner. So a really good score, showing the strength up front and the attacking skills of this Ayr backline. Now
there's somebody injured down at the bottom, and I see that Haddon McPherson has come on for Ayr. So Craig we'll just see if there's been a replacement or not. Meanwhile, you can see the two touch judges, Mike Armstrong and Sam Grove White, or assistant referees as we call them nowadays, just waiting for this conversion. So just off to the side of that picture, just beyond the referee in his yellow shirt, you'll see possibly Frazier Climo preparing this conversion attempt. I think he's down there. He is just down on his knees, and he's not got much of a run up because there's not much room. But that's the kick that he's got to put over from that touchline. It's not the centre post you can see there, it's the posts on this field which are slightly off to the left.
And he's coming at the car park, I think.
I think that's the car park. So it's all square at the moment, 5-5, but the conversion is still to come, and we've got a wee bit of stoppage time. Here's Climo with the conversion. Oh, he's drifted that in beautifully. That was some kick by Frazier Climo. And so Ayr go ahead, 7 points to 5.
Well, we picked him out before the game as one of the men to watch, and well, I'll tell you what, that kicking across the wind, well, that fantastic. Not easy to come out of the crowd. Not local knowledge, I suppose, helps if you're coming out of the crowd onto the field and then striking a wonderful ball with the wind, judging it perfectly to put Ayr ahead. Well done, Frazier Climo.
Heriot's got the game underway. Here goes Sebastian. Look at this big lad. It takes two of them to hold him up. One of them, John Rae there, number 11 on his jersey. There's David Armstrong. Just using that wind and drifting it downfield. Jason Hill goes for it. McNeish trying to find a way through, but he'll not get through past Climo in this Ayr back row. Not unless he's very clever. Semple. Rae again. Gossman all over the dot. Haddon McPherson actually. Going in at the side, I think, or maybe down off their feet. So Ayr have lost Grant Anderson for the time being, and Gossman is at full back and McPherson's onto the wing.
Yeah, I hope Grant Anderson's okay. Tremendously well to finish off that try in the corner, didn't he? As he came back for another pass. Graham Wells, I think it was tackler not releasing, and the Perrott goes to Heriot. John Semple has the opportunity now to steal some territory back for the Edinburgh side.
Ooh. Well, the thump you heard was the ball hitting the roof of the stand where we are, and you could see again possibly an indication of how brisk this wind is. Very much in Ayr's favour, as is the scoreline, 7-5 at the moment with 14 minutes played. Maybe a little bit of that is stoppage time. Here's Michael Linus. Great take by Turley, not quite straight, but the referee lets a wee bit. Here goes Struan Dewar, who scored that opener for Heriots. Hill again. Nimmo and Turley are a great pair of workhorses in the second row. Oh, what a lovely take and give there by Liam Steele. But Ayr read it well, bumped them into touch. They have to be careful here, Chris. There's not much room between the touchline and the spectators.
Yeah, it's tight. You're right on top of the players, aren't you?
Yeah. And
there's interesting again with Heriot from the line that they opted to go up the middle, picking and going into this big Ayr pack. And then when the opportunity came, Gregor McNeish spied it. He saw a gap. He went through the gap wonderfully well, and then tipped the ball. And it was just knocked on in the outside channel. But McNeish probing for the space. He would be telling his forwards to take the hits up front, take it in around, and then when that space came, Tom Wilson released him. He found the space. Unfortunately for Heriot, the ball was knocked on. I think we've got our first scrum of the day.
That's another wee interesting cameo there. You saw Martin Bouab for Heriot, and he's up against Javan Sebastian. Heriot's loose head against. Oh, and look at this! Peter McCallum leading the way for Ayr. Armstrong back to Climo. Bang off the left foot. Beautifully caught by John Rae. Rae on the counter. Oh, and that was a high tackle. Here comes Turley. Oh, look at the captain's away. Jack Turley leading by example. Russell Nimmo, and again he's caught by Scott Sutherland. Two big men in collision there. Turley, gosh, he's everywhere, isn't he? McNeish again, long ball, Steele, out in that right wing, Charlie Simpson, he's got it now. Craig Gossman came up from full back and tackled him that time. Wilson. Well, that was advantage there played by the referee over quite a long period of time. Chris, what do you make of that?
Well, it's the same penalty Graham Wells gave the other way, going off your feet at the breakdown, probably putting your hands on the ground beyond the ball. You can't do it. You've got to support your own body weight. So it's a consistent penalty. But Heriot's showing some sparkling attack in rugby there after a high tackle, certainly, on John Rae. I'm not sure. It was hit with two players. I'm not sure who it was, but it was a dangerous tackle on John Rae.
I was going to say, would that have merited a yellow?
Well, it'd be good to see it again, actually. It happened so quickly in a raft of bodies, but didn't go back for the penalty. The penalty was won by Heriot further up the field, and Ross Carroll's thumped that 50 yards down the pitch.
Carroll used that breeze very cleverly there, but here comes Charlie Simpson. Wilson to McNeish, Ferguson. Oh, Steele came in. Everybody was watching McNeish coming the run around. Good pick up there by Bouab, the loose head prop. See how Heriot's runners offer themselves. This is Russell Nimmo. Oh, what a great piece of play by Russell Nimmo. And then he lost ball.
George Hunter did well to pick up one-handed as well, didn't he?
Climo cleverly bouncing that ball, keeping it low before the wind carried it over the touchline. But one bounce and it's into touch. Heriot's throw-in though.
Yeah, we've seen Heriot playing some really good attack in rugby, and that's what I said earlier. Sometimes it's easier in many ways to play into the wind. Your decision's made for you. You don't really have a kicking option. Everybody knows they have to work hard to get into position. When you pass the ball, it comes back towards you. It's not blown away from you like it would be if you're playing with the wind at your back. And they certainly are playing some wide rugby. But Frazier Climo, after the turnover, his experienced old head, he knew we were too close to the middle of the field and popped it in behind the on-rushing Heriot's defence.
Loads of interested spectators here today. A very good crowd. They were expecting something about 2,000. Might be round about that. I see one of them is Finn Russell, who's standing down in front of the grandstand. They might be watching his younger brother Archie taking part in this game later on, because he's on the subs bench. Look, wonderful play by Ayr. Away goes Blair Macpherson. Ayr drive on, they've got to get it on the deck. Here they go now. McCallum and Bordill and McPherson are the back row. This is George Hunter. See Big McAlpine with that red scrum cap hauling bodies out the road. Brilliant running by Gossman. Infield it goes to Carroll. Ross Carroll is through for a brilliant try for Ayr. They absolutely ripped the Heriot's defence apart. And Ross Carroll has put Ayr 12 points to 5 ahead. And Chris, that was a glorious try.
That was a really well worked try, wasn't it, Ross Carroll? Good support line, good pace and power to finish off. But it was Danny McCluskey's inside ball to Craig Gossman. And Gossman, well, he just sliced through the line and he knew the support was on the inside for Ross Carroll. And he dotted down. The second try of the afternoon for Ayr. Second good try created in the wide open spaces on this right hand side of the field. But yeah, the initial break really came from Gossman. Finished off with that man, Ross Carroll. Second try for Ayr. A fantastic try. Fantastic one in the eye.
Well, he scored a try for Ayr against Melrose 3 weeks ago. He claims he ran about 80. I thought it was nearer the 60 metres, but we'll give him the 80. But that was a beautiful piece of teamwork, and the way in which they sliced open Heriot's defence was great to see. Now, if they can bring full points out of this, Ayr will feel that they've made good use of wind advantage and territory. And here's the very man to do it, because he popped one over from the touchline just not so long ago, and as the camera draws back and lets you see the full distance of the kick, there you are. That's what he's got to do. Frazier Climo then to put Ayr 14-5 ahead. Oh, do you know, he's judged that to perfection. The wind just drew it in beautifully. So that's 2 converted tries for Ayr. Anderson got the first, Carroll got the second, and Climo has converted both. 2
good conversions as well. Wide out on this right hand side, the left footer. Judging the wind perfectly, bringing it round. And I say Ayr, 14 points to 5 lead. Haven't had a lot of possession Ayr, but when they have had possession, they've looked incisive and they've scored the tries.
Gregor McNeish with a shorter dropout. Well caught there by George Hunter. Armstrong feeds it out to Sutherland. Heriot's get themselves organised. You can see the line of blue and white hooped jerseys organising themselves in defence. I see Ayr bringing it to them, ball in hand. There's Hunter a second time. Now Armstrong comes in and adds a little bit to the party. Semple catches. Oh, that's lovely running by John Semple. He was almost away. Beautifully laid back for Wilson. Steele now. Wilson again. Armstrong waits. Ooh, the wind took it away from the Ayr players. Carroll's got it, it's not offside. Ross Carroll goes, he's going to try to take them on the outside. He was in a little bit of doubt about the offside there. You see, you have to play the whistle. One of the great golden rules of rugby union. Play to the referee's whistle. Wilson again. Into touch this time.
Yeah, that one's into touch from Wilson, but Ross Carroll was fastest and first to react from a good high kick wasn't it, by Tom Wilson. Struan Dewar got up to compete in there. I think with Danny McCluskey in it. Well, who knows who it bounced from, but certainly first to react was Ross Currell, and he picked up, made some more inroads. And after a great start by Heriot's, Ayr are really starting to dominate this first half here at Millbrae, getting their hands on the ball. They're making good decisions, they're kicking at the right time, and they're not allowing Heriot's out of their own territory at the moment. Their defence is up to the chase as well.
You see a bit of cloud there, and it's a cool day here in Ayr, but it is dry and it's been beautifully sunny here. The pitch is very firm, it's almost dusty. I was walking on it a couple of hours ago, and I'm just thinking some of these players will wonder what's happened to our weather conditions, because they were playing in pretty soft mud here 3-4 weeks ago, and now it's pretty firm.
This is only the second scrum of the game, I think, Bill. The first one was a dominant scrum by Ayr.
Big Sebastian, number 3 for Ayr in the cerise and black. You see the number 3 in the back of the jersey. Look at the physique of that for a tight head prop. He was born to be in the front row of a scrummage.
I wasn't.
And you weren't.
No, I certainly was not.
No. But that's
man.
going to be one of the great battles. Sebastian against Martin Bouab, the Heriot's guy with a sweatband. We can just see Bouab on the right hand side of the scrum. There he is, going in now. Oof.
Difficult for Heriot's, very difficult to kick into this wind, and if they can't get a decent platform, the defence is going to be rushing at them.
Hill had to do the cleaning up, and he did it very well. See, Ayr are putting it's a sort of very, very tight, oppressive defence, an attacking defence when Heriot's have ball. That was well won by Douglas, but no offside, played on there, and away goes McPherson. But that's going down off your feet at the breakdown.
Same again, isn't it? Same again, really trying to clean up the breakdown to give the benefit, which I think is right, to the attacking team. It's so easy for the defending team to get over and stop the play, stop the attack, but what I'd like to see the lawmakers change or look at is, that's all very well if you're a defending team and you want to go and get the ball. If you can get yourself over and win the ball and pull it back into your side, then you should be rewarded. But if you're only going in there with a mentality of stopping the attack play, I think you should be harshly judged. And Ayr consistent again. Graham Wells, that's the third penalty we've seen for going off their feet in the defensive side. And there's a couple of changes already, Bill, on the Heriot side.
Now, Chris, Phil Smith, the Heriot's coach, has obviously seen something that's created just a little bit of anxiety there, because Bouab has come off and he's replaced by number 17 right at the front of that line out, the Scotland under-20s cap, Murray McCallum. And the hooker is Neil Cochrane. So two of the front row off to see if they can stiffen up this Heriot's back and get some go forward.
Well, Neil Cochrane had such an impact last weekend coming off the bench at the Edinburgh professional player, scoring 2 tries, and Murray McCallum, well, he scored 3 tries in the under-26 nations for Scotland, so here he is with his hands on the ball now.
Big McCallum gives it to Turley. Russell Nimmo is there to help his fellow lock forward. Wilson has a look for a wee gap. Here's Cochrane, strong enough to ride the tackle, you see, and Semple puts the ball through. Gossman skates around like a wee firefly, doesn't he? There's not much of him, but he's light and he's on the top of the ground like a wee midgie.
He is quick. An incision for that second try. His break is looking sharp when he gets his hands on the ball, Gossman.
Sutherland, great running. This is Danny McCluskey at the bottom of that. See how Armstrong marshals the troops. McCallum now. Armstrong calls the shots again. There it is, over the top. There's big Sutherland chasing up the touchline. And Haddon McPherson was there too.
Yeah, McNeish did well under that high ball, didn't he? Took it under the pressure. I think Haddon McPherson chasing hard.
Graham Wells has had a few quite interesting decisions to make with regard to offside from ricochets and bounces and so on. Players being put onside by the action of the opposition team. And there's one there that wasn't to Ayr's advantage, although they've had one or two in the the first 20 odd minutes of this game. 27 minutes we've played.
It's not easy out there, is it? But the game's so quick as well, and there's so much pressure, and at the breakdown, the breakdowns are so fierce. Players trying to get their hands on the ball, trying to stay on their feet. There's so many things you could pick out, but that was offside in the front of the kicker. David Armstrong put the high kick up. A couple of Hare players were in front. They couldn't advance until they were put inside. They did, and Graham Wells picked up on it. And this is a welcome relief for Heriot. Obviously they've made the 2 changes in the front row with Cochrane and McCallum coming on. They're going to throw it in the line out here again, and they'll look to get their hands on the ball after a good opening. They haven't had a lot of possession, certainly very little territory into this wind against Ayr, the Heriot's pack, so they'll be looking here to keep the ball in the territory, go through the phases, try and create an opportunity. And with half an eye on the half-time break, I just wonder how big a lead Ayr will think they'll need, and how close Heriot's will be, or how close Heriot's would like to be, bearing in mind they've got this win behind them in the second half.
Well, at the moment, as you can see, they're 9 points adrift on that 14 points to 5 scoreline in Ayer's favour. Ayer's tries coming from Grant Anderson, who injured himself in the process of scoring it. It really was a beautiful try. And the second by Ross Currell. Heriot's opened the scoring, however, with Struan Dewar's first try. So here we are. Neil Cochrane. David Armstrong in the background there, watching proceedings very carefully. Lovely take by Dewar. No opposition there by Ayr in that line out. Heriot's trying to set up the driving maul again. Here they go now. Right at the back is Dewar again. Cochrane had 2 in the cup final last week against Melrose. Ayr fighting very hard, trying to get men on their feet and keep men on their feet. Melrose, Heriot steamrolling over them.
This is well defended so far by Ayr. Heriot have to work really hard.
Wilson looking for a gap. Here's Hill. Hill is everywhere in this game, defending, attacking, linking. Great play. Nimmo. There's how close they are. There's Turley. Cochrane with a dummy run. It goes to Nimmo again. Look, there's Jason Hill. You see how he's got on the outside, almost able to feed it there to John Semple. Wilson at the heel of the pack. Another pick and drive round that far. So there's a try in the corner, Heriot's think. Or is there? It's what Graham Wells thinks that's important. I think he feels the ball was held up. Mike Adamson is in agreement with him, so there's no score there.
Yeah, it was Neil Cochrane, wasn't it? Going hard at the line, pick and go just on that far side of the ruck from where we are. But as Neil Cochrane, number 16, he had a burst towards the line, low and hard. Graham Wells using Mike Adamson and deciding the ball was held up. There'll be another scrum for Heriot. Another change, Bill, for the Edinburgh side as well.
John Rae is coming off from the left wing, and a Glasgow pro, Glenn Bryce, who will next season be plying his trade at Edinburgh at BT Murrayfield, is coming on, and Bryce finds himself on the left wing. There he has no number on the back of his jersey, so it's Bryce for Rae as the substitution.
He is just back from Singapore with the Scotland Sevens last weekend as well. A few run-outs for Glasgow Warriors this year in the midfield as a 13. He's played full-back. He's probably more accustomed to playing full-back, but a talented player. He can play anywhere across the back, and he's lining up in the left wing here.
I think he's a very good player, Glenn Bryce, and I think he'll make a really good impact at Murrayfield. Heriots have control in this scrummage. The referee says it went up. Have to do it all over again.
And
boys.
I think that's good. I think that's good refereeing. It deserves a reset. So often now with the pressure of spectators at the scrums looking for a quick answer, an early penalty one way or another is so crucial. The penalty, so to reset, I think is really important. Good refereeing.
And there's the view of the spectators in the stand there and along the terraces. You can just see it's a pretty busy place here at Millbrae today. But that's what they're all focusing on. Dom Wilson there, he used to ply his trade with Kelso and then with Melrose, has the ball in hand, and here's the put in. Cochrane with a strike. Heriot's with the drive. Great close-up picture there. Oh, penalty to Heriot's. Scrummage going down. Not a penalty try. They might have been working for that.
I assume
Let's see what they opt here, Chris.
I assume that, yeah, they'll take another scrum. Manny McCallum, the replacement, see number 17, the big blonde lad. He's made a huge difference in there. Put a lot of pressure on Sebastian there, and Sebastian popped up at the scrum, giving the penalty away. It's a huge effort just off the bench. Neil Cochrane will help on there as well. Such a quality player, a good player for Edinburgh and for Heriot. And this is a big scrum, isn't it, for both sides? Heriot's needing to get back into the game. Ayr, well, they'll be desperate to get this ball out and away down the field as quick as possible.
And Chris, that pair, Cochrane and McCallum, have really stiffened up this Heriot's forward effort, because here they are up at the Ayr end with a scrummage which is waxing strong. And there it is again, you see, look, they've got the upper hand. Wilson goes. Couple of metres short. Gregor McNeish gets the signal, get out the road, Gregor, leave this to the big boys. Here they go. There's Jack Turley with that grey scrum cap of his. Dewar lays it back beautifully. Here they go again. Cessford. He's a massive fellow, over 19 stones. Nimmo at the heart of that one, and Hill. Who else but Jason Hill? There they go again. McCallum. This is Nimmo. Going sideways but edging forward all the same. Great pictures there of the action. You're right in the heart of that breakdown. Now Heriot's want to work it. Oh, is that over? It's very close. Can he get it down? The ball is up off the deck. Difficult to see. They're going to go a second time. Long ball, McNeish. Here's Semple. Out it goes. Charlie Simpson on the right wing. Bulumakau misses him. Simpson's in for the try. Simpson gets the score. Bulumakau overran him. It's 14 points to 10 now for Ayr, but that was a well-worked Heriot's try.
It's another cracking try in this BT Premiership Final. Out in the wide right-hand side, Charlie Simpson finished it off, but it came from a huge amount of work rate and effort from the Heriot's pack. They drove at the line from the scrum. They drove of first and second, third phase, probably up to about 10 or 11 phases. Credit to their defence, they stood firm. They were millimetres from their own line, brave and tough in defence. But when the quality came out, there's a long pass from John Semple from left to right into the path of Charlie Simpson, who had enough guile to outwit Junior Bulumakau in the right-hand corner and score his try.
So as half-time approaches, as you can see, we're just about synchronised with the referee's timing. And this is John Semple, who got man of the match last week in the Cup final, and is a very, very useful player indeed.
There's no pies to try and get today, you know.
Let's see what he can do with this conversion, and we'll just get a look at the distance that he has to kick. He's away in the far side. Semple then. Ooh, it's hanging, and it's there. What a great touchline conversion. 14 points to 12. Simpson scores the try. Semple kicks the conversion. Ayr still in the lead, but the gap is narrowed to 2 points.
Oh, Frazier Climo's eyes in at the other end, and what a fantastic strike by John Semple into the wind. The ball held up in the wind, sneaked over. That's a crucial time to score points just before half time for Heriot. And Semple's now caught and cleared.
Armstrong waits. The wind beats them both.
Well, the changes up front that Phil Smith have made a huge difference. They've got Heriot's more combative up front. They've given them more stability in the scrum, and from there they've been able to keep the possession, keep a hold of possession, and spend a good 7 or 8 minutes in the Ayr territory, resulting in that second score. So just before half time to go in, or to crawl back to 14 points to 12 into the wind, is a good effort by the Heriot's back, but they had to work hard for that try. Bill Ayr were dogged in defence.
And Instruction there acclaims big Scott Sutherland in the line out. Oh, come on, he shouts. But nobody pays a bit of attention. Here goes Turley again. This big New Zealander has got a fine sidestep on him for a lock forward. Well taken by Gregor McNeish, the dipping ball. Liam Steele gets brought down in a thumping tackle though. And that was Peter McCallum that put the tackle in there. Here goes Russell Nimmo. I'm always impressed with this Heriot second row. I think they work very well.
What they're
Nimmo
doing really
and
well.
Turley. Here's
Struan
Dewar
breaks
adding
the
a
line.
bit pace, Chris.
Yeah, what they're doing really well is, although they're taking the ball close to contact, they're stepping, they're moving their feet before the tackle, and they're actually, for big men, really evasive, and it's giving them good quick ball.
And that could be Scott Sutherland offside there, or maybe not rolling away after the tackle. Now just a little bit of aggro creeping in between big Robert McAlpine and who else but Neil Cochrane. Well, well.
Yeah, they were evasive. You know, for big men, it's a good combination. You want the big men running hard with the ball, but being evasive as well. So a little movement left or right, targeting the space either side of the defender allows you to take the contact in your own terms, or ideally break the contact. But if you are tackled, usually going forward, it creates quick ball. You put more stress in defence. And Heriot showed that there with Turley and Struan Dewar and Russell Nimmo, all big men using their footwork against the air defence.
So we're just coming up to half time, and it's been a very entertaining first half with 4 tries, 2 tries to each side, 14-12 the score. The difference is the fact that Heriot didn't convert the first one. So we're coming up towards half time as Neil Cochrane throws and Jason Hill plucks that ball out the air.
Good initial drive
It's
in
a better
defence
drive from Ayr that time, but Heriots have counteracted it. Heriot's coaches on the touchline screaming for them to put the ball out wide. McPherson puts Semple on the deck. Ball comes loose, back they go. Referee has seen something away on the far side. There he is. Graham Wells taking them all back to that, well, to the middle of the field.
Well, Stevie Laurie, the Heriots forwards coach, is screaming at the referee. He thinks it's a repeated infringement. The drive set up is going well. The penalty is against Ayr for tackling the drive. Graham Wells is going to have a word with Captain Ross Carroll. Is he going to have a word with anyone else? I assume Stevie Laurie is looking for more action than a penalty, as Heriot had set up the drive particularly well, and it was brought down illegally, but it looks like we're just going back for the penalty. Or is he going to consult with his assistant referee? No, just a penalty.
So there is the collapsing them all away on the far side. Here's Semple.
It's very difficult to defend them all. You obviously want to try and get to deck, but if you don't get to deck at the outset and its infancy right away at the very start, you will be penalised for bringing it down. So the way of stopping them all is either get in right away and tackle. If it's a one-on-one, you can tackle the ball carrier, but once the ball gets started, then it's just about getting in behind and pushing. You can't bring it down, you can't take it to deck, and you'll be penalised. And here we're penalised there.
Cochrane with a throw. Lovely take out there by Dewar. Here go Heriots again. Right at the back of it is that. Oh, that looks very effective. Yes, they've got it. The driving maul again. And it's Cochrane. Would you believe it? Neil Cochrane gets the score. 14-17. Heriots into the lead on the stroke of half time.
Well, that's a carbon copy of what happened last weekend in the BT Cup final. Neil Cochrane guiding the ball at the back of the maul, all the work being done by the guys ahead of him. Initial line, it was good, the throw was good, the catch was good, the setup was really good. All the pressure came on initially from Ayr. Heriots, well, they just took their time, they had their patience, the power came through from them, and it was running over the line when Neil Cochrane scored in Heriots' third in his first try of the afternoon.
Well, this man, John Semple, converted Charlie Simpson's try just a few minutes ago. Very good conversion it was too, into that tugging wind, which will be in Heriot's favour in the second 40. but at the moment he's kicking into the breeze. But this is almost the identical position from which he kicked his earlier conversion. Let's see how he gets on with this one. Semple in for another couple of points. The flag stayed down this time. That one went wide. Never mind, they say that was the 5th try of the first half. And that is the indication from Graham Wells that we've reached half-time here at Millbrae. Look at that scoreline. Ayr 14, Heriot 17. We've had 5 tries, 2 to Ayr, 3 to Heriot, in what's been a cracking first half, Chris.
It has been 5 really good tries, weren't there? Heriot again showing some real strength up front, especially after making the changes. But Ayer's 2 tries, well, they were created with speed and guile and agility when they're wide outside. Heriot coming back after facing a 14 points to 5 down at one point, facing a strong wind. It was really quite difficult, but they've fought themselves back into this game to take a lead with a win behind them at the half time. Going in that second half, they're leading by 3 points with that win behind. And well, we'll have to see some more sparkling rugby from Ayr in the second half if they're going to close this gap.
Okay, so there we are then. Big crowd has enjoyed this opening 40 minutes. Here we are at Millbrae with Heriot's in the lead on a scoreline at half time of Ayr 14, Heriot 17.
How can you become a palm tree?
And welcome back to Millbrae in Ayrshire for the second half of this BT Premiership Final between Ayr and Heriot, in which at the moment Ayr are trailing Heriot on a scoreline of 14 points to 17. Now, if you've just joined us, we've had a cracking first half of 5 tries. Chris Patterson is alongside me, and Chris has been watching with experienced eye and enjoying proceedings. Chris, what particularly has caught your attention in this opening 40 minutes?
Quite a few things, really. I think the start and the end of the half belonged to Heriot. They started really well, scored first from a driving effort up close to the line, a good scrum, good set piece, and then Ayr came back and scored 2 wonderful tries, wonderful attack in rugby. One through Grant Anderson and then Ross Carroll with the second, both created in the midfield and scored in this right hand corner, so some really good fast attacking play from Ayr. And then Heriot were up against it at that point. They were 14-5 down, they were playing into a stiff breeze. 1 or 2 substitutions up front from Phil Smith, the Heriot's coach, gave them a bit more stability around the set piece, therefore gave them more possession, and they chipped away, and they had to work really hard for their second try of the afternoon. It was Charlie Simpson who scored in the right hand corner after must have been near on 15 phases of effort from the big guys up front, and then Neil Cochrane right in the stroke of half time scoring from another driving maul from a line out for Heriot. So what struck me most is how quick the game's been, how fierce the breakdown's been, but ultimately how good the 5 tries we've seen already have been in their execution, and how pleasing they've been in the eye.
And that substitution that Phil Smith, the Heriot's coach, has made, bringing on Neil Cochrane at hooker and Murray McCallum at loosehead prop, that's made a significant difference to the way that the Heriot's pack has begun to dominate this game.
Yeah, it has, certainly up front. Murray McCallum, especially on the loosehead side for Heriot, has really improved the scrum. It's rolling subs, so the guys probably can come back on and off again. But the other thing that we spoke about in commentary was how evasive the big players have been on both sides, really. I mean, I think the Ayr backs have looked to get their hands on the ball as quickly as possible. Climo's, coordinated attack very well, but the Russell Nimmo and Jack Turley, Struan Dewar, the big lads who've been carrying for Heriot, have been doing it with evasion, which is a really good combination to have. So I'm looking forward to the second half. Ayr will have to play into the wind, and as I said in commentary and prior to the game, sometimes it can be easier because you have fewer decisions. You can't kick into the wind, you have to play into the wind, and everyone's switched on to that. So we'll see what the second half brings, but so far I've been impressed by some of all of the tries, and some of the tight work from Heriot, so who've been known really over the years as the kind of sparkling rugby players and the champagne rugby, if you can use that phrase. Whereas the last weekend, and then certainly in the first half here, they've got some real edge up front to their scrum, their line out, and their ball carrying.
Some of the young Ayr players of the future, no doubt, out there just having a wee kick around on what's been a very firm and dry surface at Millbrae this time round. The wind will be very much in Heriot's favour in this second half, and with that 3-point lead they will feel, I would imagine, that they would like to make a mark on proceedings right away once the game has got started again. There's an Ayr supporter with a cerise coloured flag of Ayr. Don't know who the gentleman is, but he's obviously keen to encourage his team to great efforts. And I dare say that in there, in the changing room, Ross Carroll and the Jack Turley, Carroll the captain of Ayr and Turley the captain of Heriot, will be having quite a lot of hard words with their players about how they have to get into this game right from the start of the second half.
Yeah, there's emotion involved in games, always a huge amount of emotion, but there has to be a lot of sense and clarity and clear thinking and tactical awareness as well. And I think tactically that's where the big gains are made. Everybody's emotional, everybody's really excited about the final, but tactically you have to be cute. So what does that mean playing into wins? It means attacking short sides, it means kicking quite short and getting contestable kicks. You're not going to kick long, the ball's going to come back towards you, so kick shorter. So maybe you use blind side often, do a lot of your plays off 9 as opposed to off 10. Playing with the wind, well, it's easier, isn't it? You see the space in behind and you kick to it, but the defending team know that, so they may drop 2 or 3 back into the backfield, so that the decision makers for the Heriot side in the second half will have to be aware of that. If too many air players drop back, then you keep the ball in hand. If they're all up, you take advantage of the win. So these tactical decisions and technical decisions have to be right in order to work alongside all the emotion and power and desire that's involved in a Premiership final.
Chris, it's maybe worth mentioning, just to refresh viewers' memories, that in the 2 Premiership games between these sides, back in October, Ayr beat Heriots at Golden Acre 29-25, and then at Millbrae in December, Ayr beat Heriots 20 points to 8. So they have the upper hand in terms of Premiership matches this season, but Heriots have already won the Charity Shield and they have won the BT Cup. So Heriots have the advantage in terms of trophies that have gone their way.
And who knows what the second 40 minutes will come. There'll be moments where Heriot think they've won it, there'll be moments probably where Ayr think they've won it, and it'll to and fro, it'll come back and forward as a spectator. If you're joining us on this live feed for Scottish Rugby TV, hopefully enjoy it throughout the second 40 minutes, because it will to and fro. These teams are so evenly matched, it'll to and fro, back and forth.
Gregor McNeish gets things underway then. Turley gets ball for Heriots, but there was a knock on by Ayr.
Good kick by Gregor McNeish, wasn't it? Just crossing the 10 metre line and no more. Scott Sutherland got up and knocked it on for Ayr, but he was up challenging, I think, against Jack Turley, who looks to picked up a knock on his leg as he's herpling back. There he is, just coming in the scrum cap. I think he maybe took a bump from Scott Sutherland, but well, this is a good attacking opportunity for Heriot so soon into the second half. They've got the short side here, they've got the wide open spaces on the left hand side, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jason Hill carry this from a dominant scrum into their defence.
So Heriots will want to capitalise on that scrummage dominance that they've had towards the last 15 minutes or so of the first half. Look, there they are again. Wilson waits with the ball at the feet of Jason Hill, out to McNeish. Oh, he's away, he's clean through. Great running. This is Glenn Bryce out in that far left wing. What a nice break by Gregor McNeish. That's a wild one. Picked up by McCallum, but he's knocked it on, I think. There's advantage being played. Referee plays on. Ooh. Some, as they say, buttery fingers there, just at early second half nerves. Yeah, not the highest quality phase of rugby we've seen so far and we'll see today, but just prior to that, Gregor McNeish, number 10 there for Heriot. He had a lovely break, carrying the ball in 2 hands. He had runners coming back. I think it was Cameron Ferguson came back really hard on a switch which held their defence, and because Gregor McNeish had the ball in 2 hands and he was scanning for space, he managed to go through and try and set Glenn Bryce free on the left hand side, and then there was a whole host of mistakes, knock-ons, drop passes, missed tackles in that 30 seconds or so we'll calm it all back down with a scrum. Heriots, of course, are the holders of this club championship at the moment. They won it last year. In fact, they've won it 4 times in their career, and Ayr have won it on a couple of occasions. The last time being 2013 was when Ayr won it last. So they'll want to get their name on that cup again.
And we were at last year's final, weren't we, at Golden Acre, the last play of the game with Jason Hill, or almost the last play of the game, was it? Jason Hill scored that try.
Yep.
To deny Melrose at the very death. So these games so finely balanced, so closely matched.
Armstrong. There's the pick up and away goes Peter McCallum. Great charge there by the number 8. He's made 10 to 15 metres. Sutherland takes on. McAlpine is there as well. Armstrong waits. McPherson's on that far away right touchline. Now the wind's got this one's bringing it back. Oh, Semple, brilliant stuff there by the Heriot's fullback. Wilson off the left hand, McNeish again. Here's Struan Dewar. Holds the ball back at arm's length. Big man Russell Nimmo comes wheeling in there on the short pass. McNeish again. Ferguson like a wee trout going up a burn there with a wiggle and a waggle. Dudley, no trout, he more like a piranha. That's okay. The wind got that one. Climo comes up and gets it. Now there's a chance here for Ayr. They've got ball. This is James Malcolm. There's the strength of the young pro. George Hunter takes it on. Ayr crowd getting in behind their players. You can hear them bellowing alongside us in the stand. Sebastian, number 3, waits. Hunter helped along with by Will Bordill. Sebastian, great ball to McCallum. Fine tackle too, and that was by Semple. Climo, ball went behind little Ross Carroll. Not Ross Carroll, I beg your pardon, Craig Gossman. This is Carroll back here as a captain would want to be. Good kick. That's a lengthy kick by Ross Carroll actually into the breeze. He's done very well there and he gets a good round of applause. There he is, number 22.
He did well, didn't he? Really well to get back to cover the kind of top spinning kick from Tom Wilson. There was a turnover in his wide outside channel. Alex Henderson pounced on it, the Heriot's open side flanker, and Tom Wilson knew the space was in behind it. Put a bit of top spin on the ball, and the wind carried it deep into 22. But Ross Carroll had noticed that. He dropped back from the midfield and a really good clearance kick up to the Ayr 10 metre line.
Cochrane with the throw in. Turley with the take. Wilson, lovely play by Heriot's. Here's Dewar. Look at Struan Dewar, he's got Scottish Sevens experience and pace. Wilson with a longer pass back to the first side. McCallum goes in to help. Number 17 in the back of that jersey. Tom Wilson again. Nimmo. Sebastian has to do all the tackling there for Ayr. Wilson thinking about a wee juke up the right hand side. Chris, Heriots are in charge of this again at this early stage in the second half.
They're in control.
Just 6 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, they're in control of possession, aren't they, Bill? They're probing. They're well set up across the field so they can go close to the breakdown. They've still got players in the wide channels should they go there. And Tom Wilson, number 9, he's directing plays, telling everybody where to go. McNeish drops it on the foot and puts it in a touch. That's clever play by Heriots, isn't it? They're keeping the pressure on Ayr. And even if Ayr win this line out, they're going to have to try and get a kick away into the strong wind or fight their way 70 metres upfield. So good management by Heriot.
Here's how close Heriots are now to that Ayr try line, because that's the Ayr 22 that the line out is formed on. Now Ayr have the advantage of having the throw in. James Malcolm, who's just gone out of picture there to the right, he's the thrower. Big Rob McAlpine with a red hat might get it. Up comes Scott Sutherland. Look at Sutherland, brilliant stuff there. Well coordinated by Ayr. Armstrong, Bulumakau's away. Here he goes, here's the big fella on the run. Up to halfway. Armstrong again. Taken on by Hunter. Just a little flash of inspiration there by Ayr. Armstrong again whips it away. Now here's McAlpine. We haven't seen much of him with the ball in hand, but that was a deft offload. Climo's been quiet. This is McCluskey. Sebastian. Here's the man again. Bulumakau. Semple comes in. He loves to get into the action. Not releasing after the tackle, the referee says. Maybe not rolling away. What can Frazier Climo do? Not much. McAlpine. Yeah. Penalty against Heriot's there, because I think John Semple, Chris, maybe didn't roll away quickly enough after he made the tackle on Bulumakau.
Yeah, that's right. It's a penalty we see often, isn't it? Not rolling away, and I think it's another good penalty. It encourages you to get away from the ball, to keep the tempo in the game. It's very difficult to get out of there, especially when the opposition are trying to keep you in, and all sorts of tricky tomfoolery going on. But you've got to make a really big effort to get out of there. And the other thing is, if you roll towards the opposition, even although you're getting out of there, you're still interfering with play. So in around the tackle, get out of there as quick as you can, and quite rightly there, Semple was penalised by Graham Wells.
Jason Hill watches as Ross Carroll pops that ball down into the Heriot's 22. There's Mikey Adamson with the flag just a couple of metres inside the Heriot's 22. To see our camera there giving us close-ups. What a brilliant take again by Sutherland. There's that close-up shot. Now Ayr are going to try to do to Heriot's what Heriots have done to Ayr. They're driving maul. They've got to be tight. They've got to be concerted. Was there a knock-on? All these big men pushing away and shoving at each other as though they meant it.
Aye, exactly. Now, was a knock-on there? Is that Graham Wells' point?
I think it was a
knock-on. It must have been because the ball was still moving forward, certainly. And Ayr had the ball, so they must have dropped it and picked it up again as Jack Tadley gets a little bit of treatment off screen. He managed to infiltrate his way into the side of that maul and disrupt the ball. But it certainly was moving forward, so apologies. We missed exactly what happened, but we think it's been a knock-on there for a scrum to Heriots when Ayr were in a really good attacking position with some momentum from the forwards.
Chris, I would think that there must be a bit concern in the Ayr ranks about how Heriots have dominated in the set scrummage.
Certainly since the change, yeah, and again we go back to last week. Obviously we were both there, and Heriots were dominant up there as well. And you look at the replacements bench for Ayr. D'arcy Rae, who's a professional with Glasgow Pro 12 experience, he's a big old lump, tight head prop. He could come in. Craig Stevenson as well. So they do have options on the bench. But Hunter's been impressive. You see him with the headband. He's been impressive, carrying ball and in defence. He brings so much around the field. And Sebastian, well, he's a good player as well. James Malcolm, we know the hooker, had playing for Glasgow full-time pro now, and a fantastic young player and prospect. So I think there's just a really good confrontation. You spoke about the back rows having a great battle early on in the match, and it's turning out the front rows as you see the Heriots front row there, just having a really good battle as to who can get the upper hand in that set scrummage.
Well, that is George Hunter to the right of picture, ready to bind down, and the big fella in the Heriots shirt to the left is Struan Cessford, who's 6'3" and it's away over 19 stones, and that has gone down. Nobody to blame there, although the underfoot conditions are excellent for scrummaging today.
You see Junior Bulumakau there, number 14 for Ayr, and he's the only player on the left hand side here. I wonder if Heriots do get that scrummage up on this right hand side. I know the wind behind, but you may see that Jason Hill coming down this short side with Charlie Simpson in his outside as well.
See, there's Bulumakau there, just poised, isn't he? There's a big gap in that blind side. You see Charlie Simpson is right back on the try line out of short. Now Ayr need to work hard in this scrum. And Ayr have been penalised. Heriots have won the penalty.
Yeah, penalised for not driving straight, isn't it?
So George Hunter gets penalised for taking the scrum down, I think, as the scrum was feeling round. Well,
tough of the cheeks, he's no sure.
Not a decision George Hunter agrees with, but there we go. John Semple.
A really important period of the game here for Ayr. 10 minutes into the second half, scores as they were at half time, and Heriots making a substitution as we stop.
Here's another wee substitution on the Heriot side with Hugh Fraser, the Scotland under-20 scrum half, coming on at scrum half obviously, and replacing Tom Wilson, who comes to the touchlines for a well-earned breather. Neil Cochrane throws. Dewar can't get it. It's bouncing on the air side. Well picked up by Bordill. Climo with a huge pass out to Currell. Currell trying to bustle his way through. Armstrong with a wee pick and feed and a go. Wee change of tactic there by the scrum half. Here's Javan Sebastian. Jason Hill's got him, but Sebastian's a strong lad. Armstrong heaves his own players out the way. Climo's been quiet. Here's Currell. Junior Bulumakau. Infield he comes. Ferguson gets him. So too does Simpson. Armstrong again. A couple of wee steps and then the pass. Hunter now. McCallum's got him in a bear-like grip. Here again. Hunter takes it up that faraway side. There's space on this side. Is that Bordill and the big Peter McCallum going through again? Here comes Sebastian. Ayr keeping it tighter amongst the forwards now. Just a wee pop pass and a drive. Here they go again.
And I think that Ayr are going to get more success if they put more width on it. We've seen Frazier Climo throw some long balls. Ross Currell, here we go again. More width on the outside for Ayr.
McCluskey trying to bully his way past Neil Cochrane there, but without success. Currell, brilliant take with the captain and a twist. And his held ball. McAlpine with a pass. Chance here for Climo. Climo for the corner. He may just have been tackled into touch in the corner.
Yeah.
He may just have taken the cameraman with them. But let's see what the referee, Graham Wells, decides.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was tackled into touch. We think Fraser Climo. But I think that's where Ayr have to go in this period of the game. They've got to put more width in it. They look so dangerous with ball in hands. And Climo's throwing out those long passes. Ross Currell, McCluskey getting their hands in the ball, obviously. Gossman, Junior Bulumakau as well. Haddon McPherson on for the unfortunately injured Grant Anderson. The dangerous players in this fast track, this dry surface. And I think after all that, the ball was forward. It looks like it's a scrum to Heriot. It wasn't tackled into touch, it was a forward pass, but they've looked more dangerous with the ball out wide than they have done in tight Ayr, and I think that's where they'll look to do most of the damage in the next 20 minutes or so.
There are just 15 minutes played in this second period. Back it goes to, that was Hugh Fraser there. Fraser again. And the wind just carrying that ball into touch over Junior Bulumakau's head.
Good kick by Hugh Fraser, one of his first involvements. It's never easy coming off the field and into a Premiership final. But it was a good pass to Cameron Ferguson, who set up a good target in the midfield using his footwork, and then a long clearance kick from 9 from Hugh Fraser.
Malcolm with the throw. Sutherland with the take. Anderson. Bulumakau again. Oh, and he's almost through. But you see how quickly Heriot shut the door on him there. Here's big Sutherland again. Climo trying to weave a little bit of Taranaki magic there. McAlpine. Now they're away. This is more like it. Heriot's very quick over the ball. Referee is allowing play to go. Oh, non-release after the tackle.
Well, they say non-release after the tackle, but certainly 2 Heriot's players off their feet over the top of the ball as well, so it could have been 1 or 2 offences. And again, we're seeing Climo come into the game, and he's that time he didn't give the long pass. He took on the line. He got a wonderful offload. I think it was Pete McCallum who took the offload, and they were in behind again. So the message comes from the touchline not to take the opportunity at goal. Pop it into the corner. They're looking for more than 3 here.
Both sets of coaches are down in the near touchline, just out of picture, and you can see spectators away in the far side supporting both sets of players. Been a great afternoon here at Ayr, and it's a very close game for this Premiership final. Now, Ayr with a line out and the drive. Difficult to see who has it. This is a big Heriot spark. They've got to push past. Oh, they've got there. It's a try. Ayr are back in the lead. It's 19-17. A try for Ayr away in that far corner. And is it McPherson?
I think it could be Sebastian.
I think it's McPherson who got the touchdown.
They got a touchdown.
We'll just confirm that in a minute or two. It's kind of difficult to see without multiple camera angles and so on. But the big lad with the hands on the hips and the 2 thigh bandages, walking back, is quite a contented look on his face at the moment. 19-17.
Well, it's a good score by Ayr, wasn't it? The pressure came on from Heriot, and Ayr managed to keep control of the ball, and they sheared down the short side on a concerted effort. Broke off the maul down the short side. Safety in numbers, and I think Blair Macpherson got over, but under that much pressure, to keep a clear head and get clear accuracy and execution, deserves your 5 points. So well done to Ayr, turning down the opportunity for the 3. We said they wanted more, they've got 5. And Climo, with a well he's been kicking, it could be 7.
Here's Frazier Climo. 19-17, Ayr back in the lead. Can he add the conversion points? Let's watch this one. Well, unsuccessful there, and we're pretty sure it's McPherson who got the touchdown for Ayr. So we've had 6 tries in this final today, Chris, and Norman Mayer, my old friend, used to say the tries are the coinage of rugby football.
Absolutely, and it's six cracking tries as well.
So there we are. What are we? 20 minutes into the second half. And Ayr in the lead by 2 points. What a Premiership final. It's very much on edge. Climo scalps it as hard as his left foot can. Semple waits. Got it beautifully. It went back. Climo's there. Here come Ayr. That looked like Richard Dalgliesh on there. In fact, it's Archie Russell who's Richard Dalgliesh, number 13, I think. Heriot have turned it over. Steele, out it goes. This is Simpson. Simpson with a long kick. Gossman, who's had to play fullback in the injury absence of Grant Anderson. Look at Gossman with that sidestep. Here come Ayr again. Look at them beginning to get up ahead of steam. Armstrong over the top. Simpson takes it very well indeed. Great play there by Charlie Simpson.
Yeah, such a difficult skill to master, and even more difficult when the wind's behind you, the ball's blown away from you, but it was a fantastic take by Simpson.
Henderson, Alex Henderson, playing number 7 for Heriot, takes that on. Jason Hill spied a gap. Fraser again. McNeish had time to have a good long look. Gossman has time to have a good long look as well. And he's returned that. Not with interest, but he's returned it pretty well.
Yes, tempo's really hotting up now, isn't it? You're going into the last 20 minutes of this season for these players. And you can see just Ayr going ahead, 19 points to 17. It's really made things spicy. Craig Gossman trying so hard to break out his own defensive area. Wonderful tackle by, I think it was Liam Steele in the midfield. And then Heriot's got the ball back. McNeish decided enough's enough, so I'm going to put it in the corner and use the elements, use the wind behind, and really put some pressure on Ayr.
Up goes Turley, the throw was spot on. Great ball there for Dewar. Oh, and the interception by Curl! Curl is away for a try! Oh, the Ayr captain is joyous at that. What an advantage that gives Ayr, and what a turn up for the books. 24 points to 17, and Ross Curl gets his second try of the afternoon. Oh,
Well, that was a fantastic breakaway try, an interception. Ross Carroll, all the experience in the world, he saw it coming. He probably knew the line-up move as well. These teams have met twice before already in the regular Premiership season. It was a loop play from the tail of the line-out back to Hugh Fraser at scrum half, who looked for that long pass to attack the wide outside, and Ross Carroll knew it was coming. He saw it long before Hugh Fraser threw the pass. He got in the passing lane, he took it, and it's an easiest canter over 40 metres in for Ross Carroll. That's his second try of the afternoon, and that's one for experience and one for good decision making by Ross Carroll.
Here's Climo, chips it up and over. 26-17, but this game is far from over. We're 23 minutes into the second half, there are 17 to go, and suddenly the pendulum has swung back in Ayr's favour.
Well, the throw was long to the tail, to the line out, and then there was a loop play which allows more time for the defence to come forward. What Hugh Fraser should have done was either given it to a shorter pass or taken it on himself, but he went long, and as I say, the experience of Ross Carroll knew it was coming. But it's time for Heriot to hit back now.
Heriot's looking for the hat-trick of silverware, of course. They've got the Charity Shield, they've got the BT Cup. They're looking for the BT Premiership trophy as well.
Will Bordill's in amongst the line-out calling for the Heriots forwards. He's got a bloody nose, somebody's probably took an exception to that. And there's Ross Carroll, a try scorer.
Here's the man of the moment, look at him. He had an interception try against Melrose 3 weeks ago. That's another one. Oh. And it'll get longer and longer with the telling, I dare say. By the time he's back in the Scottish Rugby Union office on Monday morning, that'll have been 90 metres anyway. Great picture there of the line out. Up goes Jason Hill, down he comes. Vocal backing now from the Ayr support. That's a very good drive though by Heriot's. Thoroughly at the back. Cochrane somewhere in the middle of it, directing to the troops. There he is, just see the head poking up at the front. Fraser, Dalgliesh. Oh, what a break by Ferguson! Ferguson with a tremendous breakthrough, and then suddenly McCluskey's away. That was brilliant play by Heriot's. Armstrong with a covering tackle there that may well have saved Ayr's bacon.
Oh, Cameron Ferguson hit the ball hard, didn't he? Really, really hard. Couldn't get the pass away to Charlie Simpson.
When you watch that ball in the air, you can see it flighting. There's a great piece of rugby there again. Gregor McNeish caught by very tenacious Ayr tackling Hill. That was almost an interception for Hunter. Heriot's throwing the ball about, and it was Ross Carroll who put in that tackle. There he is, G'd up by that try of his. Nimmo. McCallum stands guard, and then Fraser beautifully off the left hand. McNeish going for territory. That's a great kick. One bounce, but it hasn't found touch. It's come infield again. And little David Armstrong's back there on the left peg. Has this one found touch? No, it hasn't. Semple's got it. There he is, number 15. John Semple. Well tackled by Ross Carroll. Fraser now. This is Glenn Bryce. Jason Hill is perpetual motion. I sometimes think he is to Heriot's what Johnny Gray is to Glasgow Warriors. Non-stop action. Fraser again, looking for a wee break. Turley, the captain, appended by Ross Carroll.
Crucial period of attack and defence here, isn't it? Ayr just doing everything they can to get the defensive systems right. Heriot's trying so hard to get back into the play. McNeish, Cameron Ferguson again looking for space.
Ferguson battered onto the ground there, but Fraser again picks up, and Fraser has a break in him, but not this time. This game is working up to a great finale. McCluskey goes in the tackle there, puts McNeish on the deck. Bryce again, with all the conditioning of the professional player at his disposal. Dummy runners. Here's Cochrane. Was that a sidestep from Neil Cochrane?
I think
my
it was.
eyes deceive me.
I think it was. Certainly looking sharp.
Semple. Look at the Ayr tackling now. Bryce brought down. Away up the far side goes Liam Steele. Steele, a silky runner, chance here. Great try for Charlie Simpson. Simpson gets Heriot's back into the game again.
Well, it's all action.
26-22.
It's all action, Bill, isn't it? Charlie Simpson's second try of the afternoon, and that just came from sheer persistence from the Heriot's players. They were moving the ball left and right. They're going up the middle. Ayr were up to the task until Glenn Bryce found a little bit of space down that left-hand side, setting Liam Steele free. And Charlie Simpson, well, he picks up his second by working really hard to get in that support of Liam Steele's break. He's on his hands and knees now, but he's brought his team back into this score with a crucial conversion to come. There's 4 points in it. Oh, what a final. What a Premiership final. We've got ebbing and flowing. It's going one way to the other. Liam Steele broke the line. Charlie Simpson finished off for his second try. And this is an important conversion. Really, really important. 4 points adrift. If he can chip this over Semple, it brings the, obviously within penalty range of a victory. Changes the dynamic. The emotion of the game big time, so it's a really crucial penalty conversion attempt.
Semple then to get this game back on a knife edge. No, that the wind's taking that one away. 4 points between the sides, but there is nothing in it. Now Ayr bring on some replacements. Let's just have a look at that. Number 18 is D'arcy Rae, and number 17 I saw was Andy Dunlop. That was try number 7 of this, try number 8 actually, of this BT Premiership final. Nobody can complain about lack of tries. Ross Carroll going for a long kick-off, caught by Hugh Fraser. There's an equally long return. Whoa, Armstrong judged that perfectly. Infield, Gossman. That could be pretty good. Semple gets a kind bounce, but he was there anyway. He did well to get there.
He took his time getting that away, John Semple, because Craig Gossman put a nice kick into space. He chased it really, really hard as well, and he must have been millimetres from a charge down. A few changes as well. I see Rowan Van Heerden, who had such a big impact last week for Heriot, on in the second row.
It's a serious business, this, Chris. So just looking at the expressions on the spectators' faces, there's nobody smiling or laughing. They're all intent
exactly,
and focused on what's going on.
They've all got their hands in their pockets as well, or their arms, because it tells you a wee bit. The climate there is chilly. It is really chilly.
Great throw there by James Malcolm. That was spot on. Look at this again. Here come Ayr again. D'arcy Rae taking it up. Away goes McCluskey. Out it comes here. This is Dalgliesh now. Lovely rugby we're seeing from both of these teams in this BT Premiership final. Armstrong will bring it up this side. McCluskey the quick pass. Carroll goes. Ross Carroll, a real feisty character. Armstrong, there's a gap up the left-hand side, my lad, if you care to look. There's a gap on this side. Oh, well done there. Pinched by Heriots. Cochrane plays scrum half.
There's an opportunity wide out left for Heriots as well. Well done. Ross Carroll's marshalled his troops, has covered that. And
Jason Hill with a great sidestep that almost took him away from Scott Sutherland's tackle. Here's big Sutherland, number 5 in the back of that cerise and black Ayr shirt. Fraser over the top again. Climo waits. There he is, he's got it. Back down this touchline it'll go, and he chases hard. Semple, safe as houses. Oh, great tackling again in the follow-up. Andy Dunlop was there. Look at this, the pressure game by Heriot, trying to get Ayr to drop it. Armstrong with a long kick downfield, caught by McNeish. Ping pong, back it goes. Heriots win that one.
Oh, that's a cracking clearance from Gregor McNeish. Before that, Hugh Fraser had 2 kicks, deliberately went long but didn't go out, and they were wonderfully covered by Armstrong laterally and Climo previously. Really good positioning from the Ayr halfbacks in the backfield, but well, Gregor McNeish says enough's enough. We're in our own territory, I'm wanting to get in your territory. He kicked the ball 40 yards downfield and crucially out of play. It gives the guys a chance to get their breath back and set up for the next phase of the line out.
Oh, it's a miscue. Almost sorted out there, but away goes big Russell Nimmo. It was an overthrow there by Malcolm. The codes got wrong. Ferguson, chance here. Bryce out wide on the left. Great tackling by Ayr, but a good, well thought out plan by Heriot's taking the ball away down that far side. Bodies all over the place. Now, Hugh Fraser wants people in there, sorting it out. Has he got a free kick? Yeah, there was a prior infringement. Chris.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. I know the guys are tired, but if you've got a free kick, you know, or a free ball from a penalty, let's have a go. Let's really put them under pressure. You know, I mean, you don't want it to go on too long and then you lose the penalty, understandably. But certainly, I'd like to see so close to the opposition line. I'd like to see Heriot keep that ball in hand and really go for it. But I'm sure, well, maybe it was all a ploy. Maybe he'd been told to get that up in the air or take the penalty to give himself this opportunity to catch and drive. They've been so successful. Both teams have been so successful at this catch and drive so far this afternoon. We'll see what comes from this one.
Some interested Heriot spectators from bygone days, players in their own time on that touchline, watching this great game. 4 points between the sides. Heriot's going for the driven maul. Ayr have got it all to do to stop this. Heriot's have piled players in. Haddon McPherson comes scooting round one side, then the other. Oh, and he's given a penalty try. The referee has given a penalty try. Now that's controversial, but he's in no doubt, and somebody's going to get a yellow card.
Well, there's a bit of afters as well, so at the far side's a crucial decision. It's a big decision, wasn't it? It didn't look like anything overt. Obviously the maul had been taken down. Will Bordill it is. Looks like Will. It's Pete McCallum.
I think it's Peter McCallum.
Pete McCallum, sorry, that's been shown the yellow card. We did say in the first half that 2 or 3 mauls had been taken down, had been pulled down to deck illegally, which had been penalised. So that's maybe rolled on from the first half, but certainly it's a big call, really, from Graham Wells. A penalty try.
26-27 is the scoreline now. There it is. We're into the last 5 minutes. And there you can see John Semple, the Heriot's fullback, just chipping over that conversion. It's 26-29 now. Well, the Ayr spectators, as you can hear in the background, don't like that. They don't like the decision, but it stands. And it's put Heriot's ahead by 3 points at 26-29. Carroll, up he goes. Van Heerden takes it for Heriot's, almost. Rowan Van Heerden has come on. Knocked on by Heriot's. Here's an opportunity now for Ayr to do something.
See, Neil Cochrane's down with what looks like a painful injury. I hope he's okay. There's a lower limb. It looks like his knee is writhing in a lot of pain. As well, Jack Turley, captain there, dishing out the orders, bringing his troops together. Time for calm heads as well. Will Bordill, you see, in there chatting as well, using all his experience through his international age grade days. His Glasgow Warriors player. And as we said at half time, Bill, there'll be moments where Heriot think they've won, there'll be moments where Ayr think you've won, but you never give up. You never rest your laurels, you give everything to the final minute, and that's how this is going to turn out. So close, 3 points in it, 4 minutes to go.
5 tries for Heriot, 4 for Ayr. 4 minutes for Ayr to salvage this Premiership campaign. They were at the top of the table after all the normal games had been played and before they came into the playoffs. And here they are in the final, and they're trailing. What can they do? They've got character. Do they have that something special that will allow them to produce the match-winning try? Their forwards have to get this ball back for David Armstrong. That's the first thing they have to do. Hugh Fraser alongside Armstrong. There's the beef in the front row. Ooh. Working very, very hard. Malcolm strikes. Struan Dewar was round very quickly. The ref said he was all right. Ball must have been out in the scrummage. Hunter's gone out. It's McAlpine who takes it up for Ayr. Armstrong. Bordill. Bordill's a wee angry, sort of waspish back row forward. Then Danny McCluskey out in the midfield. Hitting up again goes Hunter with a sweatband and the hair sticking out the top of it. James Malcolm now, strong as a horse. Bordill again. They're trying to hold him up, you see, and get them all ball. Ayr have managed to get it back. Gosh, another try would be great. Here's Andrew Dunlop. Smothered. Heriots will tackle as though their lives depend on it. Certainly their 15-a-side campaign depends on it. Here, calm and composed. Cessford with a big hit there. Now, can they move it wide? Chance here. Steele goes. Sit down. Liam Steele was in on the tackle there. You can see the activity on the touchline. Armstrong waits. Heriot's teetering on the offside line, but Ross Carroll, well caught by Charlie Simpson. That was a well-timed tackle, but Carroll did well to ride it and go forward. Heriot's turned this one over. If they have, that's a piece of rugby magic for Heriot's back row.
Yeah, it is. I think they have. They've covered it. Ayr giving absolutely everything they have. Close to the breakdown. Out wide, Ross Carroll looking dangerous, but Heriot's have turned this over. Martin McCallum taking another few inches. Just all buying time for Semple, who's looking like he wants to kick it as far as he possibly can downfield.
Ayr down to 7 forwards, of course, with big Peter McCallum in the sin bin. Cochrane, he was okay. The referee said he wasn't offside. Oh, it does now. He does now.
Yeah, he's coming in from the side. I think, is it Dunlop?
Aye, indeed, Dunlop.
I think he's coming in for the side. And
There he is with the red hat.
Yeah, just desperation, isn't it, to get the ball back. But again, you know, we've seen what, 9 tries, 8 tries and a penalty try, which suggests, you know, it has been an absolutely outstanding game, and it suggests the defences haven't been top, but there have been some fierce defence as well. The breakdown, the contact areas have been top notch. It's a really physical battle, and the tries have been created. They haven't been allowed to be scored really easily at all. So the defences have been good by both teams, and underlining that there with Heriot covering the left side of the field, the right side of the field. Ross Carroll was hitting a cracking tackle by Charlie Simpson. And then Heriot's won the turnover, 30 seconds or so to go.
In the last seconds of this Premiership final, Van Heerden gets it from Turley. Turley has been at the heart of everything today. There's big Van Heerden, Rowan Van Heerden, the South African, number 19 at the back of that Heriot's maul. Round there to get a hold of him comes Blair Macpherson. We're in the last seconds, as you can see. Heriot's with the ball. They want to keep it and do nothing with it other than keep it. Penalty to Heriot's. And that could be the decision that wins Heriot's the Premiership title. It might just be the last play of this game.
Oh, the ball bubbled in and out. It came out. Heriot's didn't control it particularly well. The ball bubbled out. I think Van Heerden was first to react. And then the temptation came in. Was it Dunlop again trying to get his hands on the ball?
Graham Wells is just consulting with Mike Adamson about the timing. I don't want to get anything wrong here. Time back on. And here's John Semple. So there is time for this line out.
Will Bordill's in amongst the Heriots pack again, trying to you'll see him just coming onto your screen. Oh, he's just been thrown out. The pack was Struan Cessford. There's at the back of the line out. He was trying to get a handle on what the call may be, try and disrupt the ball. That's Hare's opportunity here. They have to get up and try and steal this ball, win this ball back.
A lot of shouting around there from Will Bordill at the tail of that line out. He says it wasn't straight, ref, but the referee says straight enough. They're going to pick and drive and maul, and they're going to stick it up their jumper until Frazier kicks it into touch and indicates full time. And Heriot's have won the BT Premiership. They've retained the title on a 26-29 scoreline. A 9-try game that was laced with incident and excellent rugby. And Ayr dejected, but look at the joy on the face of these Heriot's players.
Well, it sums it up, doesn't it? Look what it means to these players. Look what it means to the lads who won the BT Cup last week. They've won the BT Premiership this week. They've had to do it away from home. They've had to do it against an Ayr side full of quality. And that was a cracking fixture, wasn't it? Controversy at the end with the penalty try. But, well, Heriot's, they've come out on top. Ayr scored some sparkling tries of their own. They just, probably the crucial scores just before half-time that put Heriot's ahead going into half-time was an important turning point in the match. Then Ayr came back into it, didn't 2 tries in the second half before Simpson hit back, and then the all-important penalty try. But what scenes, what a reaction, what performance by Heriot as they win the BT Premiership for 2015-16.
We'll maybe get a word with one or two of the players involved in this BT Premiership final. And Heriot's players just congratulating the Ayr players on an excellent game, and a kind of rueful expression on the face of the Ayr lads, because that was a penalty try at the death which finalised the result in Heriot's favour. There's John Semple, one of the main players in this game today. And Cammy Bruce in the background there, congratulating Graham Wilson, who's sadly not been able to play too much for them this season. But there are the scenes at Millbrae then, and running across the field towards the players comes the Heriot's coach, Phil Smith. There he is, just crossing the halfway line. And big Robert McAlpine, absolutely dejected. Put in every bit of effort that he could. And yet, he couldn't do enough. Ross Currell, the captain there, consoling his players. He had a wonderful final, 2 tries for Ross Currell. One was a beautiful piece of Ayr build-up, and the second was a marvellous single interception try, which completely swung the game Ayr's way with about 20 minutes to go. And then Heriot's, with the wind and their powerful pack, just began to grind their way back into things. And finally, that penalty try for collapsed maul, and that had been one of the main sort of features of Heriot's game, the driven maul. That penalty try kind of sealed Ayer's fate. So there we are. Well, we can maybe go down to the touchline now and join Graham Law, who's with one of the try scorers on the Heriot side, Charlie Simpson.
Norton, we're good to go. Joined by Charlie Simpson, 2 tries for Heriot's. Charlie, congratulations on the victory. Your reaction to it?
Well, it's quite a tough match, typical cup final. So the boys prevailed. You know, we've been in these situations the past few weeks, so we've come to know what we can do in the second half of cup games. So I think it's a season of hard work paid off with a fantastic result at the end of it, especially after last week.
To retain the league championship, culmination of a season in which you've also won the Charity Shield and the BT Cup last week. It's a fantastic end to the season for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a sort of building blocks. I only came in 2 years ago, but it's been building blocks with Phil and the team for four seasons now. So each season we've built and we've won things, and it's just culminated with winning the 3 trophies that were possible to win. So I couldn't be prouder of all the boys and how we got on.
Congratulations. Enjoy your evening.
Cheers.
So there they are, a very happy Charlie Simpson. He was a double try scorer today for Heriot's, as was Ross Currell for Ayr. There were some very, very happy faces on the Heriot's supporters there.
It's such a long season, isn't it? When you think back, these guys probably started training pre-season in probably June, maybe some of them scraped into early July before they go back from holidays, and it all culminates here at the middle of towards the end of April, and they work so hard. Most of these guys have full-time jobs as well. Obviously they're not Lucky enough, or don't opt to be fully professional, so they've got a huge commitment through the day, and then they put the extra work in 2, 3, 4 nights a week, led under the tutelage of Phil Smith.
Chris, we can go back down onto the touchline, and Graham Law is speaking to the coach of the victorious Heriot's team, Phil Smith.
Thanks very much, Bill. Joined by a pretty relieved Heriot's coach, Phil Smith. Phil, congratulations. Your reaction to the win?
I think the reaction is it was what a great game of rugby. You know, so, I saw Ross Curl for a minute there. And okay, he's disappointed, but as a game of rugby, I thought it was obviously end to end. I thought it was fantastic, and an advert for the club game and everything that we think is good with it. And we actually put it onto the pitch. I think both teams I thought were outstanding, and obviously we've won, which is great. But I thought Ayr contributed massively. Tactically,
Bringing on Murray McCallum and Neil Cochrane after sort of early in the second quarter, that seemed to make a difference, particularly to your scrimmage.
Yeah. The set piece was an area that I think we're pretty close together as two groups, and Neil's fully professional. Murray's trying to get there, bring a bit of extra something. So we're trying to get through the opening periods kind of unscathed. I think we did. So they came on, did well, and then the rest of the boys came on as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they all contributed, which was key. It's contributing to the game, and they did.
To retain the championship in the manner in which you did, not finishing top of the league in the regular season, that must be pretty special at the end of a season in which you've won the Charity Shield and the BT Cup.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been last year and that had happened to us, I'm sure I wouldn't be saying it's fantastic. But it's the way it is. It's the rules we all know about, and it's special for the club. Forget about me. The whole club have had a massive season, and they've, I can talk about so many people who, as all clubs have, contributed in making the best of it. And it's a massive reward to everybody out with me, basically the players, the other coaches, the seconds, the thirds, all the admin guys out in the background, the president, the vice president, all these people. Trust me, they do plenty of work, and I think it's a massive thing for them.
What next for you as a coach and for the club?
Well, I guess we start again. We'll celebrate tonight, undoubtedly, and there's someone back at the club waiting for us, win, lose or draw, which is great. And we'll get back into pre-season, and for me, Stevie, Jamie Parker, we'll go again. Today is huge because we've never done anything like this before. We only won the title for the first time as a group last year. To retain it is beyond probably what we're thinking. To win it on the back of the cup match, the Charity Shield, and for me, my Club 15 stuff as well, it's been pretty mad. So I'll sit back, and I've got an essay to write actually from level 4 this week, so I won't be doing much.
Thanks for your time, Phil. Enjoy the night.
Brilliant, thank you.
So that's a very happy Phil Smith there, and I think he's right. It was a great game of rugby. That was the thing that struck me. We had 9 tries in that game. Yeah, and that's the coinage of the game, isn't it? That's what people want to see.
It's fantastic. We've covered quite a few club games this year, and the standard at times has been exceptional, and we were really treated again last week with a cup final that was all about defence really, and then this weekend the Premiership final, the defences were strong, the breakdown was tough, but some of the attacking play from both sides, 9 tries, one of them obviously a penalty try, but we had driving maul tries, you had wide tries, you had tries that were broken up in the midfield, some fantastic finishing, some fantastic passing, and it's just a real advert for what's good. And there's another advert for what's good. The Ayr guys coming together with some of the fans as well. They'll be disappointed, of course they will be. They'll be broken hearted, some of them, but they played their part this afternoon as well. Finished the league season on top. Heriot's finished in 3rd place obviously, so it's a bitter pill for the Ayr guys to swallow, but they'll come back, they'll want to learn from this and win the championship next year, no doubt. Some good players in there as well. Will Bordill looks totally disgusted there, number 7, but he's a cracking player. Javan Sebastian, the tight head prop, he's chatting to there. Ross Carroll in the background, 2 tries, such a key man for Ayr rugby. So they'll be disappointed, but when they get back at the changing rooms and have the debrief and get all showered and changed, they'll realise they've been part of a cracking encounter this afternoon.
Ross Carroll with a couple of tries, one from an interception which was just out of nowhere, and away he went, about 50 going on 60 metres today, and he would be thinking at that time that the game maybe had finally swung Ayr's way, but it wasn't to be. However, let's go back down to the touchline and join Graham Law again.
Joined now by Ayr's assistant coach Glenn Tippett. Glenn, no consolation for you at the moment, but it was a fantastic game. Where do you think it got away from you?
No consolation, Loza. But the boys stuck in. I think it was interesting in the second half. They were talking about swings and momentums in the game, and they had it just 10 minutes before half time and just after half time, and then we got it back, and then they obviously finished off. We were bitterly disappointed. Peter McCallum coming off with a yellow card there, collapsing the more according to Wellesley. First thing, Peter, and I suppose it shows the character of him, he comes up and apologises for it and said to Peter he's got nothing to apologise for. He's been had an absolutely outstanding season, and it was just us. We just didn't quite take our opportunities that we needed to today.
When Ross Curl scored his second try through the interception, did you think it was in the bag?
No, I didn't think it was in the bag at all. You got to hand it, Heriot's are a quality outfit, they've done the double. I think the last team that did the double was ourselves, but Heriot's a very, very good side, and it's an 80-minute game, and we've seen it time and time again against the likes of Heriot's, the Melroses as well. The games are never finished until the final whistle, and as it proved today.
Thanks for your time, Glenn.
Glenn Tippett there, quite philosophical about the whole thing, and even after Curl's interception try, which put Ayr ahead at 26 points to 17, he said this game is not won yet. And I have to say, Chris, you and I were thinking the same thing, that it was still very much on the knife edge.
It was, and momentum, Glenn Tippett used the word momentum there, and it is so crucial, and he pointed to the period that we spoke about as well, just before half time, where Ayr were 14-5 up, and then just before half time they conceded 2 tries, and deep in the back of the players' minds they would know they were coming out in the second half chasing the lead and also playing into this strong wind that's blowing straight down the pitch here at Millbrae, so that would have had an effect as well. And I thought Heriot actually started the second half better, and he did really well to get back into the game from that driving maul for Blair Macpherson, the try just round the front of the driving maul, and then secondly Ross Curl's execution and reading of the play for the interception. But Heriot's fought, and I take you back 12 months, we sat next to each other, and the final play of the game, Jason Hill scored for Heriot's the last gasp victory against Melrose in this fixture last year, and they've done it again 12 months later. So it's so important that they understand when you understand how you win, and I think Heriot's understand that their game was built on a solid set piece, a strong driving game, and then when the cool decisions had to be made, Gregor McNeish guided his troops around the field pretty well in the last 15 minutes or so by just getting as far away from their own line as possible and putting more and more pressure on Ayr, who had to play out against the wind.
So they're just getting the scene set then for the presentation, first of all of the medals to the runners-up and the match officials, and then the presentation of the winners' medals and the Premiership trophy, the Club Championship. That's the trophy there on the dais, and alongside it is Peter Lavery from the Scottish Rugby Council. Peter will be presenting the medals. So those of you who have joined us on this Scottish Rugby Television coverage of the Premiership Final, stay with us a little bit longer, and just from the warmth of your home or from the pub or the bar or wherever you happen to be watching this, just give these players a round of applause, because it's been a long, hard season, and at the end of it they give us a game of 9 tries, 80 memorable minutes, tremendous rugby, and each and every one of them deserves whatever medal they're going to get. So
I think they'll want a hot shower before too long. I think they'll want their medal and they'll want inside, because it's getting even colder as we sit here. The wind's getting up. It was forecast sleety rain, wasn't it, at the start of the week? That hasn't materialised. It's been a wonderful day for playing, but now that some of the elation will be sinking in, some of the adrenaline will be sort of slowly leaving their body, they'll realise they're actually frozen and they're desperate to get their hands on the medal, get inside, get showered and get back to Golden Acre for the celebration that Phil Smith spoke about.
it's a sort of bitter moment too for the Ayr boys who are having to stand and watch the rejoicing amongst the Heriot's players, but that's the way it goes. You have winners and you have runners up. Let's just tune in on this announcement and on the presentation, and we'll just talk you through it. There, Ross Carroll comes up. Chris, he had a great game.
He always does. He's so crucial in attack and defence. 2 tries as well, big smile on his face. He works at Scottish Rugby, so there'll be no getting away from rugby for him. Some of these guys after the weekend can probably turn off and switch off, but he'll be back at the desk on Monday morning. Other guys coming up, James Malcolm getting his medal there, Blair Macpherson who scored one of those tries in the front of them all, Scott Sutherland, big second row, crucial to how Ayr play as well with that big pack, and David Armstrong, the scrum half. Your interesting name for a scrum half was your quote earlier on in the or a quality name for a scrum half was your quote earlier on in the commentary, and he was impressive for me. Tough, abrasive, but his understanding and reading of the game was clear. Pete McCallum, Archie Russell and Lewis Anderson, 2 under-20 guys, former under-20 Archie Russell last year and Lewis Anderson this year. Didn't get on, unfortunately, but they'll be learning from this experience as well. And Will Bordill getting his runners-up medal. You can see still disgust on his face, hugely disappointed, but these guys put so much into the season as well. This isn't, this shouldn't be their ultimate memory of the season, because they put so much hard work, so many sacrifice, so much commitment, that in these moments you don't think of that, but as the weeks and months, or the weeks pass on, you'll realise that there will be positives to take from the season. There will be things you'll need to work on. There'll be things you got right throughout the season, and well, they'll come back and do it all next year.
But they'll get a rest, and I suppose a lot of them after a long season will be looking forward just to getting a break and a bit of time off to let their bodies heal. There's Frazier Climo, formerly of Taranaki and the Penethley Scarlets, and a runner-up today. So it's Rob Flockart, who is Vice President of the Scottish Rugby Union, who's going to be presenting the winners' medals. And here they come.
It's just the contrast, isn't it? The emotion, the facial expression. How much, I suppose, importance we put on the score, isn't it? The scoreboard still shows in the bottom corner here, Ayr 26, Heriot's 29. They've played the same amount of time, they've put the same amount of effort in, but that's 3 points difference. Just makes such a massive difference to your emotion, to your happiness, your enjoyment, your fulfilment. And you can see that these guys are desperate to get the medals round their neck. The Ayr lads were a bit slow in coming up onto the podium. Not the Heriot's players, fully deserving their championship winning season.
And the dancing girls come in to add a little bit of glamour to proceedings as well. There they are, and that's the picture just before the Premiership Cup is presented, and it'll go to Jack Turley, the captain of the Heriot's team.
Here he is, just getting ushered in from the right hand side, Jack Turley. He shouldn't need told what to do. He did it 12 months ago, he did it last weekend at Murrayfield. He knows what's coming next.
Well, we're going to get a sing song as well, Chris. Here is the moment that everybody's been waiting for down at Golden Acre. Out to the front they come. Well, it's actually Peter Lavery who's going to present the cup to Jack Turley. And that's the moment that Heriot's have waited for all season and hoped and prayed for. And that's the picture that'll go all around the world. Heriots are the BT Club Champions of 2016. They've held on to the trophy for a second year. Well, there's a wee bit of the Marseillaise in that, I think, so there's a French connection there somewhere. Not quite sure what. But it's been a great day here at Ayr, and they've been lovely conditions. Cold day but dry, and we've seen 9 cracking tries from these 2 Scottish club sides, which would suggest that the standard of the game at the top end of the Premiership, Chris, is in pretty good heart.
Yes, you just have to look back at that 80 minutes and he underlines exactly what you've said. Jack Turley holds the trophy aloft. I've always said he's delighted, they're looking forward to go on and celebrate, and I'm probably filling that and then emptying it and filling it and emptying it a few times through. But the club rugby, as you say, the top of the club rugby is in good health.
It's what they've all worked so hard for, training nights at Golden Acre in rain and wind and cold. And then here they are on a sunny day down in Scotland's west coast, and Jack Turley with the trophy in his grip. So there we are, that's the end of proceedings here at Millbrae. It's been a great afternoon for club rugby. Heriots are the 2016 champions. From Chris and from me, Bill Johnson, and from all the team behind the scenes here at Millbrae, thank you very much for joining us, and good afternoon.